Hi guys, welcome to Day 2, getting started with C#. In this section, we will see understanding a typical C# program, deep dive into application using Visual Studio identifiers, contextual and types, operators. Now, we move on to the first video, understanding a typical C# program. In this video, we will create a console application. In simple words, C# is a programming language that is developed by Microsoft. C# is approved by International Standards Organization and European Computer Manufacturers Association. Language C# is designed to adhere to common language infrastructure, which we discussed on Day 1. C# is the most popular professional language because it is an object-oriented language. It is component-oriented. It is a structured language. The main part that makes it most popular is that it's a part of the .NET framework. It has a unified type system, which means all types of language C# inherits from a single type object. It was constructed with a robust, durable application, such as garbage collection. It has the ability to handle unknown issues within a program, which is known as exceptional handling. Robust supportive reflection, which enables dynamic programming. To get started with a simple C# program, we will create a console application. Initiate your Visual Studio. Go to File, New, and click Project. As you can see, a new project window appears on the screen. It resembles the framework which we are working, that is .NET Framework 4.6.1. On the left-hand side of the new window, you can see the available languages of .NET Framework. Basically, we're using C#. So select C#. Under Visual C# node, select Console App. Let's name our program, say, Day 02. And click on the Browse button to save where you want to store our project. In my case, I will save the project in my Test folder. Once done, click on OK. As you can see, we have successfully created a console application. Now, eliminate some elements from program.cs. Using system in the namespace, which has a keyword that is using. This is a place where we defined what the namespace is going to be consumed in the program or application are. Generally, this is called using a statement, which includes the usage of external, internal, or any other namespaces. System is a typical namespace that contains a lot of fundamental classes. This is a class name defined in namespace. A class in C# is a blueprint of an object. Objects are dynamically created instances of a class. In our console program, we have a class program that contains a method named main. This is an entry point for our program. At least one main method is required for our C# program, and it should be static. Main is also a reserved keyword. An entry is a way that lets CLR know the what and where of the functions located in the DLL. For instance, whenever we run our console application, it tells CLR that main is the entry point and everything surrounds here. The keyword console derived from the system namespace. In line number 9, we use .WriteLine to print Hello World. To hold our console application, we need to add few lines of code into program.cs. Add console.readLine. This .readLine will hold our console. Here, we have the Solution Explorer window which depicts the solution which we are working on. To run our program, we can either use this Run button or use the shortcut as Ctrl F5. Let's run our program. As you can see, we have successfully obtained the result. Next, we will see namespace. A namespace is a way to keep one set of names separate from another, which means you can create as many namespaces as you want, and the classes under different namespaces will treat them as a separate, although they have the same name. Let's see an example. Place the code from the code bundle. We are using Generalize Namespace System. In line number 3, we created a namespace named as Day 02, in which we created a class example. In public void, we created a function name as display to show this highlighted message. We have one more namespace system named as day02 new, in which we created a class example. As like the previous namespace, we have the public void function that is display to show this message. This is a typical example that shows two classes of the same name with two different namespaces. In our class program, we first instantiated the static main function. Then, we define the class 1 and class 2 values with the values assigned to it. Similarly, we display both the classes with the help of display function. Then, we create an object of the class 1 and class 2. Let's run this program to see the desired result. As you can see, we have obtained the messages from both the classes. Now, open the day02 project from the test folder. This is the name of the solution of our console application. A solution can contain many libraries, applications, projects, and so on. Right-click on our day02 project file, and you can open it from Notepad++. At the bottom of this file, you can see the format version and then the studio versions which we are using. Next is the minimum Visual Studio version and then the project name along with the token key. After that, we have the global variations and configuration files. Similarly, like Solution File, we can open a Project Explorer file. Open the project folder and right-click on the day02 project file, and you can open it from Notepad++. This is a project of our console application. A project is a bundle that contains everything required for your program. A project is contained, in a logical sense, and in the file system within a solution, which may contain one or more projects, along with build information, Visual Studio settings, and my miscellaneous files that aren't associated with any project. In a literal sense, the solution is a text file with its own unique format. It is generally not intended to be edited by hand. This project file may contain the project details from this project class. Now, we will see dependencies. You can find dependencies in the Solution Explorer window. This refers to all references and binaries required to run a specific application. Dependency is an assembly or DLL on which our application depends or where our application is consuming the function of referred assembly. For instance, our console application requires .NET Core 2.0 SDK, so it includes it as dependencies. If you click on SDK, you can see the Microsoft .NET Core app. You can also see all the dependencies files which are required to run our system. Next, we will look at class file. In our console application, you can see the physical class file name. In the test folder, you can see the name of a class file that is physically available on our disk drive. Class name and file name could be different, which means if my class name is program, then my class file name should be program.cs. However, it is a bad practice to call both class and file name with different names, but you can do that, and the compiler won't throw any exception. In this video, we understood a typical C# program.